Better unmute myself. Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to the Love Audio's YouTube channel. My name is Paul Webber, and I'm your host this evening. Great to have you along this evening, this morning, this afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are watching and listening around the world. Please do let us know in the comments, especially if you're new here. And if you are new, make sure you type your name. We'll give you a shout out. And the regulars amongst you, make sure you make the newcomers feel extra special and extra welcome. Right. So what is Love Audio production all about? Essentially, it's a safe, fun, friendly, hopefully entertaining and informative platform where you can learn the basics in audio production, okay? So if you guys are on board with that, give the video a nice thumbs up and we'll get going. Love Audio! Okay, now, as you probably gathered from the thumbnail, we're looking at mixing acoustic sessions this evening. In particular, we are going to be mixing some audio that was recorded recently in my studio from Andrea. Andrea is a singer, songwriter, and a guitarist. She also plays keyboard and you know various other instruments. She's very, very talented, and she's recorded some really, really beautiful. I would call them folk type music tracks for us. And I'm going to be looking at 3 tonight of the 11 or 12 that we're putting together for a little EP for Andrea. So without further ado, let's crack on and get into that if we can. First of all, I want to say hi to some people. Hello to you if you are watching. Make sure you say hi in the comments and we know who you are, where you're from, because that is really good. And we can then shout you out and find out whereabouts you are watching this from around the world. So what I'm going to do is bring up an instance of the production that I want to show you this evening. So let me just go to that screen there. You can actually see that in full view. This is PreSonus Studio One 5.5 Pro, and this is the session that we are or have recorded those sessions and songs into. Let me just show you that and you can take a look. These are the individual tracks. So if we go right up to the top, track 1, 2, 3, 4. What I've done is I've staggered them down there so that we can listen to them in sequence, and then they'll play, of course, in order. But what we're looking at this evening is track 1, track 4, and track 5. The songs are called Song to Cornwall. That's the first track. Song to Cornwall is the first track. Homeward Bound is track 4, which is this one here. And then track 5 is Free as the Wild Birds. So we're going to be looking at those in detail this evening. And what we're going to be doing is, as well as what I've already done, of course, is titled them and put them in the right order into different tracks, as you can see, all the way down to track 11 here and track 12 for the 12th track that's going to be coming fairly soon. But what I wanted to show you was my process and my thoughts behind how we introduce effects to that particular channel and that particular song. So what I've done is I'm just going to bring up the mixer here. Hopefully you can see this on your screen. Better to watch it on a large screen rather than trying to watch it on a mobile phone, which is sometimes what I do when I'm watching tutorial videos like this. And I'm thinking, I really can't see that. I need to project it onto my television and get a better view. So hopefully it's coming through nice and clear. What you've got here is the 12 tracks, and they're all color-coded, which is great. It enables me to see it at a glance, which is great. So we're looking at track 1, track 4, and track 5 this evening, okay? And what I've done is, if I scroll along here and then go to, let's have a look here. Main, let's go to, which tracks are we looking at here? I've actually incorporated an effects channel, and I'm just looking to try and find where I can see that because it's not on there so far. Here we go. Okay, so currently it's grayed out. Let me just go there and let's have a look here. Why that's not showing. Let's have a look. Why is that not showing? Give me 2 seconds and I'll find out. External, instrumental, optional, da-da. That's okay. Outputs, inputs. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the desk mic coming in, as you can probably see. As I'm talking, the levels are going up there, which is fine. That's how we recorded the whole thing originally, which is good. But I want to bring up the effects channel, which looks like it's channel 14, which is odd. Let me just hang on. Will it expand? Let me have a look. Okay, that's going right along there as well, so it doesn't go any further. Let's go back here. There, okay, that's also fine. Everything's fine there. Excuse me. So, what I'd like to, I think probably because I've on the effects themselves, what I've done is maybe, oh, there we go. Okay, now we've got it. So yeah, I just had to click on the little dot there. As you can see that, can you see that lighting up there? You can't see that, can you? So let me just go to full screen. And so what I'm doing here, at the bottom of this track list here, I actually had it grayed out. So if I click it, it then brings it to life, if you like, and you can then see it as an effects channel on the right-hand side of the rest of the tracks, which is exactly what I wanted. Thank goodness for that. I was panicking, thinking, hang on a minute, I knew I did it earlier because I was doing it, post-production or pre-production, as it were. And I knew that I'd got it set up, but could I find it? No. Okay, so now it's enabled, which is great. So what I've done is on the FX channel, the FX1 bus here, you can see this grey bus right at the end of the coloured channels here. That's my effects bus, and I've got a mix verb on there. Let me just show you that. Come on. There we go. Edit. And I'll bring that into screen so that you can see it. Now, this is mix verb. What I've got it on is an acoustic guitar chamber in order to bring out the acoustic guitar nuances and also the vocals that were recorded at the same time. Okay, so we've got it on that currently. The room size I've kind of set at 43%, and I've got a 60% width. So again, that's kind of putting a bit of a stereo spread on it because these tracks are recorded in mono through one microphone at the same time. So in other words, one microphone picking up the guitar and also the vocal at the same time. Okay. Now I could have done it stereo, and in hindsight, I wish I had, but I didn't at the time. So maybe that's something that Andrea and I can work on in the future. But certainly, it's a mono track, so I'm putting it through a mix verb, and that will give it a little bit of a spread. So not too much, so it won't sound ridiculous like it's coming out of both speakers and stuff like that. But it'll give it a bit of depth, if you will. Which is pretty cool. So what I'm going to do is turn that off for now, okay? And as you can see, if I do that with that blue button there on the actual, on the plugin itself, and this is mix verb, by the way, from PreSonus. It comes built into Studio One 5.5 Pro. Now, if I click that blue button there, you'll notice that all of the settings kind of disappear. That's because we've turned it off. So we're almost kind of bypassing it, if you will. Which is cool. So, and when we want to bring it on, and I can do that, that's fine. But I'm going to turn it off for now because what I wanted to do was to show you what I've done on the tracks here themselves, okay? And you'll see that each of the tracks has a send. So what it's doing is sending to FX1, which is that FX channel, the grey channel that I mentioned earlier. It's sending as much or as little of the reverb to that FX bus that we think is appropriate, okay? And currently it's all on, but of course what I've done, as you noticed just now, is turned off the mix verb from the actual plugin itself. I can do that via the mixer. I can just click the blue icon to the left of the mix verb here in the inserts, and I can turn that off as well, okay? So you can hear a before and after kind of thing. So what I'm going to do right now is to jump into, let's have a look here, jump into... where are we? There we go. Okay, back to there. So we're going to jump into track 1. I'm going to reduce that so you can see the track itself. Going to go back to the beginning. And we're going to play track 1, which is called Song to Cornwall. And we're going to hear it just in the raw as it was recorded with no effects, no processing on it whatsoever. And then I can then show you how we then introduce that and make it slightly fuller and sounding kind of uniform, if you will, across all of the tracks, which is great. So, without further ado, this is Andrea and Song to Cornwall.
I came to this land a long time ago. My heart it was sore, my heart it was sore, and I never thought I would love it at all. For my heart was a grieving and sore. I had left behind mountains and the sunshine of Spain, where I'd played in the rivers with my children. And Cornwall was grey and the winter so cold, and I never thought I would love it at all. Then one winter's morn, 'twas a cold frosty day, I walked out of the door and went on my way. I wandered the hills and valleys I roamed, and something changed forever on that cold frosty morn. The ground it was silver, the grass it was white, there were ice-cracking mud pools, and the sky it was bright. 'Twas just the beginning, but on that cold frosty morn, my heart began healing, and a love it was born. Now I love the wild winds and the sea's salty foam, and the sound of the foghorns calling fishermen home. The wildflowers that grow on the edge of the cliffs, and the sacred stone places where magic's adrift. I have wandered the earth, many places I've roamed, but when I cross the Tamar, I know I've come home. Good people of Cornwall, your land it has grace, and my heart now is here in this beautiful place. Good people of Cornwall, your land it has grace, and my heart now is here in this beautiful place.
Beautiful. So, as you can tell, that is as raw as it's going to get. That's as natural as we could get it in one take, with regards to the microphone and the guitar, picking up the voice and the guitar as well. So what we're going to do now is go to our mixer, and we're going to just tease a little bit of effects towards the FX bus, okay? So we've got mix verb on in the effects bus, on the grey one here on the right-hand side of the mixer. And then track one, of course, is the one we're dealing with. So as you can tell, the volume that I'm sending to the FX channel is quite low currently. So I'm going to rewind the track and then press play, and then we can bring in a little bit of reverb to just give it a bit more of that, that kind of ambience feel that we want it to have. So this is the track playing now.
I walked out of the door and went on my way. I wandered the hills and valleys I roamed, and something changed forever on that cold frosty morn.
So what I don't want to do is obviously bring too much of that in so it drowns out the natural voice that Andrea has. So I'm just bringing it in very subtly, and as you can tell, it's probably about, well, it says here, 17.5% that I'm sending to the mix verb itself on the FX channel, okay? So I'm not swamping that particular sound with more effects than I need. Let's have a listen again.
The ground it was silver, the grass it was white.
I'll give you an example of how much you could overdo it, and this is how that would sound. Have a listen.
There were ice cracking mud pools, and the sky it was bright.
Which might be,
Was just the
you know, Andrea singing in the shower, perhaps. But what we're trying to do is some kind of balance between the acoustic guitar room that we've got on the mix verb and the natural sound of Andrea's voice and the guitar, the acoustic guitar. So I think, like we had it before, so roughly 17,
frosty morn,
16, 17.
my heart began healing, and a love it was born.
And also, what we haven't done yet, and I just wanted to bring your attention to that as well. What we haven't done is put any compression or limiter onto the final mix. And what I want to demonstrate now is the same track. This is without compression so far.
Now I love the wild winds and the sea's salty foam.
And whilst we're playing this, I'm going to bring the compressor in and out of the recording so you can hear the difference between not having it on and having it on. So here we go with that track again.
And the sound of the foghorns
This is with it off.
calling fishermen home. The wildflowers
This is with the
that
compression
grow
now on.
the edge of the cliffs and the sacred stone places.
This is with it off
where
again.
magic's adrift. I have wandered
This is with the compression on.
many places I've roamed, but when I cross the Tamar, I know I've come home. Good people of Cornwall, your land it has grace, and my heart now is here in this beautiful place. Good people of Cornwall, your land it has grace, and my heart now is here in this beautiful place.
The compression has a ratio of 2.2 to 1, and I've got some input gain on there as well at 4.5 dB. You're getting a lot of hiss there as well, you see. So let's just stop that a second. We'll go back to that track in a moment or two, because we're still working on this one, of course. So we'll do that, and then we'll press that.
Then one winter's morn, 'twas a cold, frosty day.
Now what I've done is
I walked out of the door.
I've inserted a limiter on the post of the final track. So you're hearing that limiter also kick in. So we'll look at the editing of that.
Changed forever on that cold, frosty morn. The ground it was silver, the grass it was white. There were ice cracking mud pools, and the sky it was bright. 'Twas just the beginning, but on that cold, frosty morn, my heart began healing, and a love it was born.
So you can hear the difference there. We've got the limiter on, which is bringing the quiet patches of the song up and reducing the higher portions so that nothing's clipping at the final mix there and the final mastering.
Of the wild winds and the sea's salty foam, and the sound of the foghorns calling fishermen home. The wildflowers that grow on the edge of the cliff I have wandered the earth, many places I've roamed, but when I cross the Tamar, I know I've come home.
And that's now with both of those things off, so no limiter, no compression.
Land it has grace, and my heart now is here.
Compression on.
In this beautiful place. Good people of Cornwall, your land it has grace, and my heart now is here in this beautiful place.
There we go. So Artfully Blind with Diana is in the house. Thank you very much for joining, Diana. Very nice to see you. The difference between using a compressor and limiter on the final mix compared to gain. Gain on your channel is a volume control, and obviously that's designed to give you more volume. But the problem with giving everything more volume is the fact that you could end up with clipping at the end if it's too much. So you reduce the gain, giving you more headroom, if you will, if that makes perfect sense. So this is the headroom that you've got. So let's pretend that my head is in the shot, and that's the headroom that you've got. Now, with regards to raising the gain, you're going to do this, but this is near peaking. Up the top is near peaking. So what you want the compressor to do is to bring down those loud bits and raise the soft bits so that they're more uniform across the whole song, but you're not getting any clipping, you're not getting any distortion, okay? So hopefully that explains the difference between putting a limiter and a compressor onto your final mix, and then instead of raising the gain, which you could do, of course, but then again, if you raise the gain totally of the whole track, what you're going to end up with is those peaking bits where she's singing really loudly. It's going to be really, really peaking, and it could distort as well at the top end. So reduce the gain, and then, put a compressor across the track if you need to, and then that gives you a little bit more headroom, particularly if you put a limiter on the post-production as well. That will then stop any peaking and stop it causing you any artifacts that are above beyond the original track. So I hope that helps, Diana. Thank you so much for the questions. Really, really useful. She says, is there ways to improve the sound of my voice in my videos while editing? That is a good question. It really depends on the microphone that you're using and the mixing desk that you're going through, or the sound card that you're going through, and the distance away from the microphone. So, for instance, if I'm back here, you're really struggling now to hear me because I'm that far away from the microphone. So you want to be about 4, 5, 6 inches away from the microphone itself if it's a condenser mic like this. If it's a dynamic mic, then it's going to be face on, and you're going to be that much away from it so you can get closer to it. But don't forget, every time you get closer to that, you're going to have these plosives when you say the word P or F. As the wind goes across the diaphragm, it causes artifacts called plosives with a P and an F, plosives. So you get that if you're too close to the microphone. So it's all about quality of microphone, quality of sound card, and the software that you're using. Clearly, obviously, that's going to help as well. And anything you can do to dial in and to change that will help. Okay, I know it's obviously maybe not as easy as you were hoping to be as an answer, but certainly that will certainly help you improve the sound of your recorded videos. Yes. But like I say, it's distance away from microphone. It's the microphone you're using. It's the sound card. It's all sorts of different things in the audio chain, as we call it, that could have an influence on the sound of your recorded videos. So that's track 1. I'm going to go to track 4 now, because that's the next track that we're going to be focusing on. So let's go down to track 4. And it's already highlighted it for us as well, which is great. So track 4 is here. And the song is called Homeward Bound. I'll play that for you now.
Autumn leaves and silver clouds,
And that's without the effects, sending it to the FX bus.
snow geese and meadow flowers.
But it does have the limiter and the compressor on, okay?
I know you wait for me, a timeless trip among the stars. so deep resounds. I know my eyes will see. Through you I know I'm homeward bound. And through the waves we weave our way. No storm too great will wash away all the moments since you were born, between the sunrise and the dawn. You lived a while and sang your song. You were too young when you were gone, and left us all just hanging on by a thread we carried on. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. Oh. And all the dreams we ever dreamt, and all the moments we were lent, are just to show us nothing lasts. The future and the present and the past roll into one, fade away day by day. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. Oh, homeward bound.
Very good. Beautiful sound, isn't it? It's a really nice track as well. Superb. So well done to Andrea for recording these, by the way. Just get rid of this multi-band. I'm going to take that out of the equation.
God bless the children. God bless the earth.
That's better.
God bless the people who want to give birth to a world filled with peace.
Okay.
And a world that is free.
So what we're doing here is analysing the spectrum of
Free as a wild bird
the sound.
that circles the seas. God bless the unborn.
So I'm taking a little bit of
For
the
what will they know of a world we will leave them from the seeds that we sow? God bless the rivers, butterflies and bees, daffodils in springtime.
oh gosh.
Sunlight through the trees. We're all part of them. They're all part of me. Free as a wild bird that circles the seas. In love we will rise, in division we fall. When we're lost in the darkness, shine a light on us all. For we long to be free, long to be free, free as the wild birds that circle the seas, free as the wild birds.
So what I'm doing here, folks, is finding the frequency that
the seas.
is a little too high. So you find the frequency by dialing around like that to find it. And then let me just rewind that slightly because I want to be able to hear that. Give me 2 seconds. Let's move that over there a sec. I want to just play that again, please. And I'll bring that back in.
God bless the unborn.
And then you.
For what will they know?
So you overemphasize the.
Of a world we will leave there.
There's a hiss there somewhere, and I'm trying to identify it. So use this cue to narrow down that band,
God bless the river,
which is there, and then you
butterflies and bees,
cut it out. Simple as that.
daffodils in springtime, sunlight through the trees.
There we go.
We're all part of them. They're all part of me.
And because Andrea's voice isn't too deep, I don't have to roll off too much of the bass on the bottom end of this frequency here, down this end. So I don't have to roll too much of that off because her voice is reasonably mid-range to high. So that's great.
Love we will rise, in division we fall. When we're lost in the darkness, shine a light on us all. For we long to be free. Long to be free.
That's with the compressor on.
Free as the
That's with the compressor off.
birds that circle the seas. Free as the wild birds that circle the seas.
That's Free as the Wild Birds, which is the 4th track that we're doing tonight. We've done track 1, track 4. I beg your pardon, track 4 and track 5. So track 5 is Free as the Wild Birds, and then Homeward Bound is the track we did just now. So let's just have a quick listen to that again whilst we've made those changes.
Autumn leaves and silver clouds, snow geese and meadow flowers.
Just a little bit more reverb on that one.
I know you wait for me, a timeless trip among the stars. The chord of music so deep resounds. I know my eyes will see. Through you I know I'm homeward bound. And through the waves we weave our way. No storm too great will wash away all the moments since you were born, between the sunrise and the dawn. You lived a while and sang your song. You were too young when you were gone, and left us all just hanging on by a thread we carried on. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. And all the dreams we ever dreamt, and all the moments we were lent, are just to show us nothing lasts. The future and the present and the past roll into one, fade away day by day. But with you I know I'm homeward bound. Oh, homeward bound.
go. Okay, so there's still some work to be done there with regards to the background noise coming in there at the very end.
Day by day, but with you I know I'm homeward bound. Oh, homeward bound.
There we go. There we go. So that's track 5. Beg your pardon. Track 4, which is Homeward Bound. Track 5 is the one we did earlier, called Free as the Wild Birds. And then track 1, of course, was Song to Cornwall, which is the first track on this selection of songs.
Came to this land a long time ago, and the winters and the it was born. Now I love the wild winds and the sea's salty foam, and the sound of the foghorns calling fishermen home. The wildflowers that grow on the edge of the cliffs, and the sacred stone places where magic's adrift.
Beautiful song, I like that. So that's called Home, Song to Cornwall, that one, which is really cool. Okay, so that's our mixing done for the time being. I'm not going to do any more to that whatsoever. I've got another session with Andrea tomorrow, so we're going to be tweaking some of that, and then we'll be able to publish it and let you know where it's going to be available. So I'm going to save that. Always save your project as well, by the way. If you are editing anything, whether it's video or whether it's audio, always save as you go along. Some software items, save as you go along without you even having to do anything, which is fine. However, I've done sessions before where I've not saved it and regretted it. So definitely try and save as you are going along. That's my tip to you. Hope that helps. Okay, so let's go to here and let's say hi to some people that are joining this evening. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's session. Really good. Hello to Artfully Blind with Diana. Thank you very much indeed. She asked lots of questions. Give us a thumbs up as well and a hello, which is brilliant. So she asked how that was different from the gain. Could we put a compressor and a limiter onto the final channel? And I said to her that the gain, of course, is something at the top of your channel where you're going to give yourself more headroom, which is fine, or give yourself more volume, that is. But what you don't want to do is give yourself too much volume where you're peaking, So try and manage that if you can. And she asked if there's any way to improve the sound of her voice in videos while editing. And that, of course, is down to the software you're using, the microphone, of course, and the sound card that you might be putting that through. Rich Vibes is in the house. Hello to Rich. Hello to you. Thank you very much for joining. And hi to Stuart Video. Hey to you as well. Thank you so much for joining. Artfully Blind with Diana says, I saw an opera singer video who was explaining ways to improve our talking voice. And she said to take deep breaths each time and talk as we exhale. Will make the voice more honey. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So you'll notice that I delivered that last sentence, your thing there, with one whole breath. That's because I took a deep breath in, and you breathe from here, not from here, believe it or not. You breathe from here. Use your diaphragm to force that air out when you're talking. So nice breath in through the nose, and then I saw an opera singer who was explaining ways to improve our talking voice, and she said to take deep breaths each time and talk as we exhale will make the voice more honey. And I didn't run out of air, so that's pretty cool. And I was on a course recently with Kat Mulverhill, and she was talking about improving voice and everything else, and she was teaching us to inhale and then use our hands to vocalize, bringing out that sentence as long as you possibly can. And then take another breath and then release that as well. So yeah, it's very difficult to not breathe properly when you're excited and when you want to get across a certain point, particularly if you're doing video. And again, live streaming is very difficult for you to breathe properly in the right place, to take enough breath to deliver what you need to say. and then take another breath to to carry on the conversation. So yeah, it's very important, breath, in regards to either public speaking, as you've mentioned there, but again with the opera singer thing that you've mentioned as well, Diana. She'll be using breathing in order to hit those high notes and to keep them high and to keep them pitch perfect and to give the right vibrato and all that kind of stuff. But that's a whole new realm, which I'm not going to get into because I'm not a singer. I'm not a singer tutorial. So, always breathe properly before you're about to deliver that sentence. And it's interesting because when you're on radio, particularly, and you've got software that is compressing your voice, so it's raising those quiet bits and raising the quiet bits and squashing the loud bits. What it does is it influences the amount of breath that it sounds that you're taking. So if I'm going to start a new sentence and I go, the radio compression will actually enhance that breath. So all you hear is like that. It's crazy the way it does it. But when I'm recording Zest Liverpool in the mornings, which goes out at 10 o'clock on zestliverpool.com, by the way, when I'm recording that in the mornings, when it kicks the compression in, you can hear when I've taken a really deep breath before I'm about to launch into that sentence, and it can be quite off-putting. And I think it's really really obvious in FM radio, where you've got highly compressed, jocks, if you will, DJs, whatever you want to call them, and the compression is working really, really hard to lift the quiet bits and then to kind of squish the loud bits, so that you end up with this kind of narrow band of audio rather than this kind of jumpy wave forms that you see on this, for instance. Let me just show you. So this was obviously recorded acoustically. Let me just drag that down and you'll see the waveform here. This is a typical example of waveform with plenty of headroom, okay? Because the peaks of those waves, that's when Andrea is singing at her loudest, for instance, like this.
I have wandered the earth, many places I've roamed, but when I cross the Tamar, I know I've come home.
But it's not overpowering, it's not distorting in any way. It's clean, it's clear. You can hear every word, you can hear every nuance in that phrase. But the compression, what the compression's doing that I've put on here is it's expanding those, it's bringing up those quiet bits of guitar, but, kind of putting and the limiter then puts a squish, if you will, on the loud bits of the audio so that it's not distorting. That's the end game, really. So I hope that helps. But yeah, it's a very good tip, Diana, to always breathe properly, whether you're doing speech or whether you're doing singing. Always take deep breaths. That's a very good tip. So Rich Vibes also saying hi to Diana as well, and good tip, yeah, absolutely, and very useful if you're doing a radio show, Rich, of course, which you do each and every Sunday night, 7 till 9 on Mixcloud and on Bay Vibes Radio. So yeah, always a great tip to make sure you take those breaths when you're doing radio or recorded speech or whatever it might be. Artfully Playing with Diana says awesome graphics, thank you. that was produced in a bit of software called Videoze, VIDDYOZE, and it was a subscription that I had. I've since cancelled it because I don't use it an awful lot. I've got another one here for you. Yeah, just a bit of fun that I put together for those little interstitial bits as well. And if I put that up on the screen, for instance, and do this, Love Audio. That's a stinger that was produced inside vMix, but the jingle, of course, came from Dallas, Texas. So I'll do that again for you. Love Audio. That brings it back into vogue like that. So yeah, just little tips and things that you can just enhance the show with, and just makes it a little bit more interesting, which is cool. What else can I tell you? Yeah, so that's pretty much it on the recording session that we've done with Andrea, and 3 tracks that we focused on: Song to Cornwall, Homeward Bound, and Free as the Wild Birds. There are 11, maybe 12, because I've got another one to import as well. So 12 tracks in total on this EP or collection of folk songs that Andrea wrote. And yeah, we'll be doing some more recording tomorrow and some more editing and getting them kind of finally polished, if you will. And and I think Andrea's going to do some piano for us as well tomorrow. So that could be quite interesting as an addition to these audio tracks. So yeah, watch out for that. We may well do another kind of catch up in the future with regards to to how it all turns out and stuff like that. But we'll certainly post the links in not necessarily in this video, but once everything's produced and polished and everything else, and I've sent it to the clients and they're happy with it and all that kind of stuff, and they're happy for us to promote it, then of course we can do. But currently it's a private collection, and it's up to Andrea whether it stays that way or not. So that's cool. But it was a pleasure to record her, and I'm looking forward to seeing her again tomorrow in the studio, which is good. Rich Vibes just asking a question. Videos, is it any good? Yeah, it's if you go to vidyoze.com, I think is their website. Let me just check because I don't want to get that wrong. Let's go here, and I can sign into my account. Where are videos? Yeah, so it's vidyoze.com / well, that's it. Yeah, that's all you need, and then you can sign up from there. But it's a pretty good piece of software. I have used it for 2 or 3 years now, and I've enjoyed using it. I don't use it a great deal, so that's why I've kind of come to the end of it. Really, I don't really want to continue the subscription. It's I wouldn't say it's cheap by any means. So if you're looking to do kind of animated graphics like that, that's also where this came as well, by the way. So that was produced in Videos, VIDDYOZE. So that's a graphic with audio as well. And I've also got one for my other channel, which is Love Audio Bits. So that looks like that. And you can see the LAB upright banner behind me there. Love Audio Bits. And also, for my ironing channel, Ironing Man Paul, I've got that one. So, yeah. I overused that particular graphic. But you can change the colours and everything, which is great. So that's obviously the Love Audio, the Ironing Man Paul colours, which is kind of a dusky pink colour, which matches the Russell Hobbs iron that I use for my Sunday night streams. I didn't do one last week because I was away, but yeah. I have got some ironing to catch up on, but that's a different story altogether. By the way, if you want to look at the website, by the way, that's loveaudio.co.uk. Head on over there if you want to find out more about what I do as a DJ, audio producer, and all that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. Merchandise you can find, a bit like the t-shirt that I'm wearing today, which is, if I get into shot, I Love Audio. And you can find that on the website there, which is loveaudiosmerchstore.com. You can also you can also find mugs on there as well, and there's also a new graphic for the Love Audio thing as well. So get yourself a t-shirt, show everybody that you love audio. Yay! You have ironing to do. Yes, I do, Diana, and I have a separate channel which you can subscribe to called Ironing Man Paul. So do a search for that on YouTube and you'll find me, Ironing Man Paul. And I normally go live on a Sunday afternoon at 5 p.m. UK time, which of course is 12 noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific. So yeah, it's just a bit of fun. It's all good fun, and I normally iron for about an hour and a half and just chill out with you guys and just chat back and forth, that kind of thing. So yeah, join that if you want to. If you want to support the channel in any way you can, go over to patreon.com/Love Audio Production. Would love you to be a patron. And also that you can find there a free downloadable PDF podcasting guide. So if you ever wanted to know what you need to start a podcast, then get yourself over there and download it for free. You'll be most welcome to that. And that pretty much wraps things up. You can always email me, by the way, hello@loveaudio.co.uk. That's hello@loveaudio.co.uk. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and that will let you know when we go live next, which is generally every Monday night at 8 p.m. UK time. Okay, that is about it. I am going to say cheerio. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's program. If you have, please give it a thumbs up and tell your friends. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now. What do I iron? Mainly my clothes, really, to be honest with you, Diana. Good fun. See you soon.